So in this video, we are going to learn how to create Google Drive folders from new row in Google Sheet. Now suppose guys you are adding some kind of data, some kind of new details for new event in your Google Sheet. And using those details, you want that whenever you add those details, you want to create a new folder in Google Drive. So let me tell you, you can actually automate this process. And in this automation, whenever a new row will be added in Google Sheet, automatically we will get some data from that new row, and with the same name, a new folder will be created in Google Drive. If you want to know how you can set up this automation, to know this, you just have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Google Sheets to Google Drive. And then just click on Create. Now you can see that a workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we can see 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with the trigger window. Now the idea here is, here in our Google Sheet, we are adding some details. So in this video, I'm just taking an example of a new project details. Like whenever me and my team members start working on a new project, we enter the details of that project like the date, project name, client name, email, and you can enter any other detail as well over here. So we enter these details in the Google Sheet. And using this automation, guys, what we are going to do, as we enter these details, with the name of the project, a new folder will be created in Google Drive. So we are just taking an example of a new project, but instead of this, you can set up this automation for any use case, for your any requirement. You can enter any data in this Google Sheet, and using those details and this automation, you can create a folder in your Google Drive. So let's see how it is done. So first in this trigger window, we have to connect this Google Sheet with Pabbly Connect and get the new row details, the new data which we are adding in our Pabbly Connect workflow. After that, using Pabbly Connect, we are going to send those details to Google Drive, and using those details, we are going to create a new folder over there. So let's see how it is done. Now here in Trigger window, in Choose App, search for Google Sheets. Just select it. And then in Trigger Event from the drop-down, select New or Updated Spreadsheet row as the trigger event. After selecting this trigger event, here you can see that Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. Now using this webhook URL, we are going to connect our Google Sheet with Pabbly Connect and get the data of a new row which we are going to add over here. So let's see how it is done. Copy this webhook URL from here and we just have to follow the help text given below over here. After copying this webhook URL, just go to your Google Sheet and here just go to Extensions, Add-ons and click on Get Add-ons. After clicking on Get Add-ons, here you can see that Google Workspace Marketplace is open in front of us. Now here in Search app, search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Now you can see that Pabbly Connect Webhooks, this is an add-on which is already installed in my Google Sheet. You just have to install this same add-on into your own Google Sheets account, and after installing it, just refresh your Google Sheets once. This is a very important step. Now after refreshing our Google Sheet, once again go to Extensions, and this time in this drop-down you can see Pabbly Connect Webhooks. This add-on can be seen over here. Just click on Initial Setup over here. After clicking on Initial Setup, here you can see that this box appears in front of us, which is basically asking us 3 different things. First one is the selected sheet. Like it is most likely possible that in your Google Sheet, you might have created multiple sheets. So new data from which sheet we want to send to Pabbly Connect. We have to select that sheet over here. Then it is asking us for the webhook URL and then the trigger column. So right now in this Google spreadsheet, I have only one sheet named as Sheet 1. That is why by default it has selected Sheet 1. Then here in webhook URL field, we have to paste the exact same webhook URL which we have copied from Pabbly Connect. Just copy it from here and then paste it over here. After pasting the webhook URL, it is asking us for the trigger column. Now here you must be thinking, what is this trigger column? So trigger column is basically the last data entry column of our Google Sheet. So here in the background, you can see that in this Google Sheet, column D is going to be my trigger column because it is the last data entry column in which any of my data exists. After column D, in any of my column, none of my data does not exist. So here I'm going to select column D as the trigger column. But according to your sheet, any column C, D, E, F, G, H, any column could be your trigger column. You just have to make sure that it is the last data entry column of your sheet. And after entering the trigger column, click on Send Test. Now, when we click on Send Test, here you can see that it is showing us test data sent successfully. This means the data of the first row after headers. Like in row 1, we have the headers, and after that, in row 2, we have this data. This is the data of the first row. After headers, whatever data we will be having in the first row, that same data will be sent to Pabbly Connect. And here in Pabbly Connect, you can see that in our trigger window, we have received this response. Now here in this response, you can see the exact same data which we have entered in Google Sheet. Here you can see the same project name, same email address, same date, and same client name. The same details which we have added is now received inside Pabbly Connect. This means we have successfully connected our Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect. Now just click on this submit button over here, and after clicking on submit, it is showing us that the setup has been configured successfully. Close this window, once again go to extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks, and here you can see an option named as send on event. We just have to select this option of send on event. And by selecting send on event, we are telling this Google Sheet, we are telling this add-on that whenever data in a new row is added in this sheet till our trigger column, like in a new row, whenever we are going to enter the data till our trigger column, immediately, instantly send that data to Pabbly Connect. So here the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. Now after this, let's move to step 2. And in step 2, the details which we have received over here, using these details, you can create a new folder in Google Drive. For example, I want to create the folder with the help of this project name. Like whatever name of the project I'm entering in Google Sheet, with the same name, a new folder should be created in my Google Drive account. Now for that, just scroll down, come to our action window, and here in Choose App, search for Google Drive. Just select it. And then in action event from the drop down, here you can see in action event, we will be having multiple action events over here. Now to create a new folder, one of the action event which we have is create a file or folder. So using this action event, you can create a new folder in your Google Drive account over here and the home page. After that, we have an action event named as create a file in a specific folder. So using this action event, you can create a new file or new folder into any other specific folder. For example, if I create a new folder over here named as project data, this is the name of a new folder. And I want that whenever a new row of data is added in the Google Sheet, then using these details, on the basis of these details, a new folder should be created in this specific folder named as project data. In that case, we are going to use this action event, create a file in a specific folder. And create a subfolder is another action event using which you can create a subfolder in any of the folder of your Google Drive account. So here guys, you can basically use any of these action events according to your choice. Right now, I'm going to select the action event as create a file in a specific folder. I'm going to create a new folder in the specific folder named as project data. So I want that whenever the data of a new project is added as a new row in Google Sheet, using those details, a folder should be created for that project in this folder named as project data in my Google Drive. So after selecting your action event, just click on connect and select add new connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Google Drive account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this sign in with Google button and then select your Google Drive account. Scroll down and click on allow. And as you click on allow, we will see our Google Drive account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the folder. So here guys, in this drop down, it is asking us that in our Google Drive account, in which specific folder we want to create these new folders. So right now in my Google Drive account, I have only two folders. First one is new folder and second one is named as project data. And I want to create these new folders on the basis of Google Sheet data in this folder named as project data. So from this drop down, I'm going to select that folder in which, that specific folder in which I want to create new files or folders. Then it is asking us for the file name. So here in this field of file name, we have to basically enter the name of the new folder. So as we discussed, we wanted to give the project name as the name of the folder. Like we are going to add new project details in this Google Sheet as per our example. And then on that basis, whatever will be the name of the project, with the same name we wanted to create it, a new folder. So we have received the name of the project from this response in this trigger window. So from Google Sheets, we have received these details. And from this response, we wanted to mention this project name. We wanted to add this project name over here in this field. So we are going to map this data. Now guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field, and here in the drop down, you can see a list of all the responses which we have received from Google Sheet of a new row added. And out of all of these responses, select this response of project name and map it over here. So whatever project name we are going to enter over here while adding a new row, with the same name, the folder will be created in this specific folder in Google Drive. So as I told you, according to your requirement, you can select any action event. If you want to create the folder at your home page, you can select this action event. If you want to create a subfolder, you can select this action event. And if you want to create a subfolder into the shared drive of your Google Drive account, you can select these action events as well. Then it is asking us file type, that what kind of file we want to create. So from this drop down, select the file type as drive folder. And then just click on save and send test request. Now when we click on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the data which we have entered, basically the file name which we have entered, using the same name, a new folder has been created in this specific folder which we have selected in this drop down. So let's check it. We will go to this folder, and yes guys, here you can see that just now in this specific folder named as project data, which we have selected over here, a new folder is created named as first project. So here you can see that this automation workflow which we have created in Pabbly Connect is working perfectly fine. And after setting up this automation, whenever we are going to add a new row of data in Google Sheet, automatically with the same details, a new folder will be created in a specific folder in our Google Drive. So here guys, after setting up this automation, let's test this automation workflow once in real time. For that, we'll go to a Google Sheet, and in a new row, we are going to add the details over here. So let's add the detail. For example, the project name is real-time test. Then the client name is test client. And this is the email address. So just now in the new row, we have added some new details. And we will see as we add these new details, immediately within seconds, a folder will be created into the specific folder on our Google Drive. So let's check it. We will go to Google Drive, and yes guys, here you can see that just now a new folder has been created into that specific folder which we have selected while setting up this automation. This means the automation workflow we have tested and it's working perfectly fine. So not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications with Pabbly Connect. And one more important thing, you will find the clone link of this exact same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone the same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down your suggestions, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.